How did you handle Wiseguys?
Very, very good. They were great to me. I always had success because I was a gentleman, and I never butted into their lives. At the Copacabana, this is before a show, up in the lounge. I wouldn't say the fellow's name because it's not right to say. My mother I walk over, and Joe Scandore was my manager for 40 years, and he talked like a bird. Sweetheart, don't worry, everybody's going to love you. Everybody's going to love you, don't worry about it. That's Joe Scandore.
Yes.
So now he says, go over to the table, they want to say hello to you. And it's this important guy with 4 other guys. I sit down, and I'm ready to talk, and my mother comes walking over and says, I'll call him Charlie. His name's not Charlie. Charlie, I want all the guns on the table. Don cannot sit here unless you put all the guns on the table. I hand to God, put the guns on the table, and they said, now we can talk? Absolutely. Give you an idea how the Wiseguys went to me, and they'd all sit in the front. There was one story in the book, which is true. Guy said to me, I'll make it fast. Guy said to me in Montreal, he was a Wiseguy sitting in the front, and my joke is that your wife? And I go, ooh. She's
yes.
Moose, must be over a fireplace. Look at this woman, ooh. That's what I did. And the guy stared at me. Show's over, and he comes backstage. Yeah. And it's like in Goodfellas.
Right.
You think she's a moose? I said, it's a joke, Louis, it's a joke. Joke, huh? Make me laugh. Say it again, that she's a moose. I said, it was a joke. He said, I'm going to take care of this. You understand me? I'm going to take care of this. And he walked away. So I went and I picked up the phone and I called up New York, somebody that my manager and I knew. Boom. Next night, same guy. Sits down, hand the guy. Table with the same girl. Ooh. Ooh, there she is. Ooh. Comes backstage after the show. Okay. Tell her again. What? Tell her she's a moose. She's a moose. You see that? Is that a funny kid? Is that a funny kid, huh? Isn't he a riot? Son, I was so out of line the other night. I was in a bad mood. You were so funny. Called New York. And I was robbed once. Oh, in Chicago, they gave me a lineup, I won't tell you who, of guys that might have done it. And that's a hotel. They did about 3 floors. Right. And Zsa Zsa Gabor, God love it, she was up there too. They took jewelry. They took stuff out of her. I came back. We were out there. I come back. Drawers were open. Guys in white gloves. Mr. Rickles, I saw you in Vegas. You're a funny guy. I said, I was robbed. Oh, no, don't worry about it. Well, I said, what do you think? Oh, don't worry. It's nothing. We'll find a guy. You're great in Vegas. Charlie, my lieutenant will tell you, you're a riot. I kept it. I said, geez, they took everything. They didn't take no fingerprints, nothing. They left. About a month later, in Florida, knock on the door, in a brown bag, is half the stuff they took. And the word got back to me. They didn't know it was me. They were so sorry they didn't know it was me. My manager for 40 years was a fellow called Joe Scandore. He was a hell of a guy. He and I hung out. We became good friends. My mother adored him. That was a big part of it. My mother adored him. And I loved Joe. He would always wear, real Italian burgundy shoes, short ankles, black socks, and he always wore, I'll never forget, silk shirt, and he was kind of heavy set, and the shirt always parted. And all you could see was the Catholic cross laying on his chest. And I swear to God, if God knew what he did, the cross would have melted. Joe Scandore was a short man with a lot of class. In those days when you worked the Copa or you worked Basin Street East, which I worked all those places, and in Florida when I worked the hotels and all, it was all mostly, Wiseguys. When he died, you would think he was the most holy of holy guys, which Joe wasn't. He certainly wasn't a man wanted by the law or in trouble that way, but he knew everybody, So it wasn't that you say Mary Johnson was at the funeral, and Tom Pliberton and Irving Katzman. It wasn't that. It was Vinny Boom Boom, Charlie One Eye, Eddie the Dribble, Charlie the Nose, some of those people. Now, he has a Monsignor or a Cardinal. I'm not Catholic, so I don't know, but I all know that they got good costumes. And he's laying there, and I'm in the front row. And there's a guy called Mikey Falco. He's gone, but he was like, Joe gave him to me years ago when I was at Basin Street as my bodyguard. I said, Joe, I don't need a bodyguard. This guy said, I'm going to take care of you. He talked like Joe. Don't you worry, sweetheart. Nobody bothers you. A drummer one night said he didn't like me, and he took out a stick and boom, it almost broke his leg. I said, why'd you do that? He said, he didn't like you. He has no right to say that. He's got to show respect. It was crazy. Anyway, he was insane. Anyway, so he was always around me. So now he's outside. He's in charge of the people pulling up in the cars and seeing the people get into the church. So happens the church is packed. There's no more room. And it's a snowy day. And, the exhaust, like you see in The Sopranos, guys in coats, all guys, they looked like a bus hit them, they're all out there like this. Nobody was normal. They were all like this, Anyway, so he's outside. The guy says, I'm Charlie, the can opener. I love Joey. Want to get in? Can't get in. It's closed. It's over. Boom, boom, boom. All of a sudden, the door opens. You let me in. I'm a friend of Joe's. I suck your neck. Spiriti fondo ponto. Hey, Joe Scandore. But door comes ajar again. I kill your sister. I'll take the eyes out of your mother. And we're all trying to be straight. I was like this. People said, Don got to pull himself together. I was trying to keep a straight face. Every time the door opened, I'm gonna take your sister and wrap her in her own dress and shoot her in the head. You better open the door. That's what happened.